Not the Kissing Boot 2 being gay. I can't handle this information. What up people of the internet, my name is Kevin and welcome back to another video. Okay guys, so for today's video we are jumping straight in and continuing on from my last video where we're gonna read The Kissing Boot 2 Going the Distance by Beth Reekles. I'm so excited to continue on with the story because as you may have seen from the first video, if you haven't already actually seen it, I'll link it up here and also down below. You should go check that video out first where I read The Kissing Booth for the first time because obviously this is the sequel. If you want to catch up on all of my thoughts, please watch the first video first. But anyways, if you did see that, you would have saw that I actually did end up hating the book. Like I actually gave it 3 stars, like I didn't mind it. I actually thought the book was way better than the movie because the movie was just cringe and bad. It made the characters like way worse in the movie and everything. Like I just think the actual source material, aka the book, was not as bad. So I'm actually really interested to see, is the second book better? Because the second movie is the one I hate even more than the first one. Like I really don't like the second movie. I like to watch it as in like it's funny to watch because like it's just cringy, but I don't think it's a good movie. Like I think the storyline's toxic, the characters are toxic, the friendship's toxic, like a lot of it. But I'm actually interested to see like where this is going to go in terms of the book because I have a feeling for some reason that the love triangle actually isn't going to be in the book. Like I have that strong feeling it's not going to be in there because there's so many parts in the first book that weren't in the movie. So I feel like, what does not even have a love triangle? Because it's called Going the Distance. So maybe it's all just about the long distance relationship and like her going to see Noah in Harvard and everything. Like watch that just be it. There's literally no love triangle and no silly plot about them literally competing in a dance mat competition, which was the funniest thing for me in the movie, that they were literally in a competition to be on the dance mat thing. It's not because I think it's weird, because I actually love dance mats and everything. Like they're really fun at an arcade. But I just found it so random that that was what was in the book. Like it was just really random. So I'm really excited to read this and see how it goes. Also the third book and third movie comes out next week. So this is perfect lead up to that because I obviously will be watching the third movie. I'll do a commentary video for the third movie and I will also read the third book. The reason I haven't done commentaries for the first movie and the second movie is because I've seen them, I think both at least twice. And they're really cringy. Like I just don't think I could actually get through watching them again. So I couldn't do the commentary. I know it probably would be fun videos for you guys, but I literally just can't put myself through it to watch them again. But I will watch the third one and do a commentary and I will read the third book. So yes, if this is your first time watching one of these videos where I read something for the first time, I share spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled for this book, then do not continue watching because from this point onwards, there's going to be lots of reactions. I'm going to tell you what's happening in the book. It's going to be very, very spoiler filled. Other than that, it's time to just go and jump in. I'm also going to try read this all in one day because it's actually a lot shorter than the first one was. And so I'm going to try read it all in one day. So that's a little challenge, like reading in one day or reading in one sitting challenge. Love that for me. Okay, so I've already started the book. And I'm on page 5 and I already had to stop because I just laughed at something that was said. This is not something like is like critically bad or anything. I'm just laughing because it's funny. And like just because I really associate the word goofy as a funny word now because of that TikTok. I'm sure you've seen it where it's like, I'm sorry, I was just in a silly goofy mood.
I'm sorry. I'm just in a silly, goofy mood.
I have that in my head every time I see the word goofy. Anytime someone says something about being silly or goofy, like I always just think of that TikTok. And basically she's on the phone to Noah talking about like how's college going and stuff. And she's also starting her senior year, by the way. So she's in her final year of school. And she's talking on the phone and it's just so funny. Noah laughed, a soft, breathy sort of chuckle that made my heart melt. Almost everything about him made my heart melt or my knees go weak or my stomach fill with butterflies. I was a goofball, a cliche straight out of a movie, and it felt great. Like, the word goofball, I love it. Like, I actually love it. It's just such a funny word. I'm a goofball. It's just funny to me. Anyways, I'm going to continue actually reading the book. I just needed to talk about that because I just find the word goofy such a funny word. I'm literally 4 years old, but anyways.
Somebody loves me. Everything was beautiful. Every hour we spent together lives within my heart. And when she was sad, I was there to dry tears. And when she was happy, so was I. When she loved to me.
Oh, that was beautiful. The emotion was there, the
I
execution.
nearly started tearing up, to be honest.
Wow, stunning.
That's a stunning song.
It really is. Okay guys, so why do I look so red right now? Tomato Couture is back, people. She's back again. Anyways, I'm up to page 49 now. I'm on chapter 5. And some little updates are needed. So basically, Noah's in Harvard studying college. He's just having college parties and stuff like that. That's what he's doing. Lee has his girlfriend named Rachel. He's thriving with her, except he kind of keeps ditching Elle and like cancelling plans with her because he wants to hang out with his girlfriend instead. So Elle's a bit like upset about that because obviously they were best friends. That's been going on. And then there's also a new boy. So I think maybe it is gonna follow a similar storyline to the second Kissing Booth movie because it looks like there's gonna be a love triangle introduced. Except the other boy is called Levi in the book. I don't think that's his name in the movie. I can't remember. Let me do a quick Google. In the movie, his name is not Levi. His name is Marco, which is very interesting, but I kind of can see why they probably changed his name to Marco because Levi sounds very similar to Lee, and obviously her best friend being called Lee and then the like in love interest being called Levi. Maybe that could be like confusing for audiences or something, like to get confused between the two people. So maybe that's why they changed it. But anyways, so basically Lee, her best friend, was meant to come over and babysit with her while she's looking after her younger brother. He ditches to go out with his girlfriend, and then he sends Levi, the new boy, to be like his substitute to help Elle with the babysitting and stuff. And they kind of have a little moment. Well, they don't actually have a bit of a moment. Basically, her younger brother loves the new guy Levi because he plays Zelda with him and stuff. They just play video games, all that kind of fun stuff, and that's about it. But you just know a love triangle is going to happen. I don't think they're going to have the dance mat situation. Don't think that's going to happen. And do you know what? Like, if we're thinking in terms of Love Island, I really think that like Elle's head is going to be turned. Like, I know she's coupled up with Noah, but I really think that she's going to like have her head turned by Levi, if that makes sense. So I guess we're gonna have to wait and see who she recouples with. But as of right now, I think that she really wants to get to know Levi because her head's a bit scrambled. Do you know what I mean? So we're gonna wait and see. Well, hello. Progress has been made and I'm up to page 95 now of the book, and I have some thoughts because the toxic friendship that I see between Lee and Elle in the movies is kind of coming into play now in the book. However, once again, still nowhere near as bad as the movie. Like, already actually, side, before we get into Lee and Elle, let's talk about Levi, shall we? Like, I kind of love him. I'm like Noah who. I also, no offense, didn't really care about Noah. So, anyways. But Levi, he's actually kind of cute. Like, first of all, he played Zelda with her little brother and was adorable. Secondly, and most importantly, he is currently the only character so far that actually has some depth to him and is actually like a thought out and complex character. It has like all of these different character developments about him that make you understand who he is, where he's come from, and you understand his struggles. Like, you understand him, and he's literally been in the book for about like 90 pages and we got a whole other book, and I'm saying he's probably my favorite character. He's just so fledged out to me already. Like, they were talking about like how his father is in remission from prostate cancer, and he's talking about how like him and his ex-girlfriend broke up because he didn't want to do long distance and all this different stuff. And he just like opened up to Elle and was telling like how this is why he feels this way. In a new school, he finds it really hard to like open up to people because he always felt like that when he was in school he got like a lot of sympathy from everyone because of everything that was going on in his life. And he just didn't want to do that when he moved to his new school because he just wanted to fit in and everything. Like, he had this depth to him already that I'm like, I love you. Like, I actually love you. Yeah, so I just want to say that, like, I'm already team Levi, even though obviously if it follows the same way the movie did, she's not going to pick Levi, so love that for me. Love when my person in the love triangle doesn't get picked. Anyways, apart from that, like, I'm also talking about how Elle and Lee's friendship is a little bit toxic because, first of all, when it comes to going to college, the two of these have this thing where they're like, oh my god, we're gonna go to the same college, like, because we're just besties, and like we have to go to the same college. It's not like in the movie where like they have a rule that they have to go to the same school. Like in the movie it's like rule number 9, always go to the same school as your bestie. Like they don't have that, but they just said like, we've always said we're gonna go to the same college, like this is just the thing we're always gonna do. And I know a lot of people say that like you want to go to college with your best friend and everything. That's fine, like I get it, but I don't think you should be basing your education and like what you actually want to go do with your life, what you want to go study, based on where your friend is going or your significant other. I don't think you should be going there just because they're going there. I think you should actually just like, you know, think about, is that college actually for you? Is there a course that you actually want to do there? And if it so happens to be the same one that your best friend and everything's going to, that's a win, that's a bonus, that's a plus, because I think you should be putting yourself first. And that's kind of my main issue, because they're really like pissed with each other. They're like, oh my god, how dare you even apply to another school? It's like why would you just limit yourself to one option for a school and then you don't get it in and then you're just left with disappointment? Like, also, he is being a little bit disgusting towards her. Like, I don't actually like the way Lee is acting towards her. He said something, where is it? He's drunk and he says it. Stop trailing around after me like a lost puppy. It's just sad. Just because Noah's not around anymore doesn't mean you have to moon over him around me. He's just being really rude to her now for no reason. Like, I think he's like doing little digs because she was mad that he applied to a different college. So I'm assuming that that's obviously something that's playing on his mind. Then his girlfriend, I think, well, Levi just suggested that maybe his girlfriend Rachel is like a little bit upset that like he spends so much time with her because she's a girl that's also a friend. So maybe she's a bit of jealousy there. And I don't know. I just think communication, once again, if they're such best friends, I feel like they should be able to communicate. But once again, I do understand that this is a book, this is a piece of media, like it's meant to have the drama and everything, so like, I get it. I get it. Like, I get it. Okay guys, so it's obviously nighttime now, and I know I said that I was going to try read this all in one day. I don't think that's going to happen, but I am up to page 134 now of this, and we just found out that Noah's birthday is October 3rd. Mean Girls stan, because he's the bad boy. So obviously he's going to be a Mean Girls stan. Like, he is one of the plastics. On October 3rd, he asked me what day it was. It's October 3rd. Exactly, Noah. Like, genius being born on October 3rd. Anyone watching this right now, if your birthday is October 3rd, good for you. So anyways, like, things have been happening. Basically, everyone started thinking that Elle and Noah broke up because there was like a photo that he got tagged in at like a college party where like there's this girl kissing him on the cheek, and it's basically just his friend Amanda that he studies with and stuff. Like, it's nothing deep or anything like that, and people just jump to conclusions like there's nothing there. Obviously Elle is like a bit hesitant and stuff, and I can definitely understand why she would be jealous and stuff, because that's obviously not going to look good. And then people also thought that she hooked up with Levi because they left a party and he dropped her home. Nothing happened. He just was literally a gentleman and brought her home from a party. And that's about where I am so far. And overall thoughts, I think this is currently a 3 stars again. Like, the thing with these books, as opposed to their adaptation, they're just not as cringy. Like, if you were cringed when you watched the movies for The Kissing Booth, the books aren't as cringy. There are still parts, obviously, that I'm just not a huge fan of. There are things that happen that I'm like, don't like that, or like some of the writing can be a bit juvenile at times. It's definitely better than the movie. It just is. Like, I don't mind it. Like, it's really easy to read. It's not like anything spectacular or anything, but like, it's so simple to read. Okay guys, so it's the next day and I have gotten up to page 171 of the book. And I'm going to try to finish it now. So technically, like I've already said, it is kind of going to be within the 24 hours. Technically, kind of cheating. Up to page 171. And I'm not going to lie, I'm actually a little bit sad. But also a little bit annoyed. So they kind of contrast, mixed together. And we get this beautiful blend. Because Noah and Elle have like broken up because he can't be honest with her about this girl named Amanda and what he's doing with her, because apparently he's doing something and he's like, it's complicated, I can't explain. And like, I don't think he's cheating on her, but like, again, it's not the exact same as the movies, so maybe he actually is cheating on her in the book. Like, who knows? And like, because obviously in the movie and everything, he's not. So I don't know if that's gonna be the same thing they carry over. but we'll find out and see that basically Elle broke up with him because she's like, if you can't give me an answer as to what you were talking to her on the phone and what you were doing, then I don't want to be with you. Like, this isn't going to work. And he just won't tell her. So I'm like, if he's not cheating, I don't understand why he's not telling her. Like, I just don't get it. So I'm actually kind of sad because I'm like, oh, like they were actually kind of cute together with like the whole like phone calls and everything that they were doing. But like, there's still parts of it where it's just a bit much, you know, it's a little bit much. I don't understand, like, why did he not just tell her? Like, if he's not cheating on her, why would you not tell her? Not the Kissing Booth 2 being gay. I can't handle this information. So, there is a part on page, let me flippity flip back, 205 of the book, and the characters are all talking about this Sadie Hawkins dance. Also, Elle and Noah have broken up. I think I've already said that, but they're broken up. And they're all talking about like who's gonna be their date, and a Sadie Hawkins dance is when like the girl asks the guy to go to the dance with them. And there's this one guy named Dixon who doesn't have a date yet, and his friends are like talking to him about it, and he says that he asked someone else to go with him, and it's a guy. And it's just a really cute moment because you think that like his friend is gonna be homophobic back to him, but his friend's not homophobic, and it's just such a stunning moment. I need to read it out to you. What about you? Cam asked Dixon. Someone's asked you, right? Dixon, to my surprise, started blushing. Actually, I asked someone, but it's Sadie Hawkins, I said. The girls asked the guys. That's kind of the thing, he stammered, looking down at his plate of sweet and sour chicken and noodles. His cheeks went even redder. I asked Danny a couple of weeks ago. Danny who? Danny Schrader? No, Danny Brown, from the basketball team. Several seconds passed in silence as we all let that sink in. I could see the guys exchanging looks that said, Dixon's going to the dance with a guy. What? Wait, how did none of us know about this? Did he think he couldn't talk to us? And then Elle says, the most important question here, Dixon, is what colour ties are you two gonna be wearing? Please tell me you're gonna match. And then he says, he smiled back at me, obviously relieved, and said, red, I think. Then this is where one of his friends, you think he's about to be homophobic, and he says, sorry, but Danny Brown. Dixon's lip twitched. Look, I'm sorry I didn't tell you or any of you guys, but I mean, just, it's okay. And no, Cam said, I don't give a shit if you're bi or gay or whatever label you prefer, but my point is, Dixon, that Danny Brown is not a fine piece of ass. You can do a lot better than that. You should have asked Joe Drake. He's into guys and he hasn't got a date yet. Like, the supportive friendship, like the fact that he literally didn't make a big deal out of the fact that his friend just came out to him and was just like, no, I actually think you could do better, like you should go with this guy instead. Like, absolutely a stunning moment. I was not prepared for that in the Kissing Booth. Also, I'm proving my point. Why did they put problematic elements into the movie when the source material was fine? I don't get it. I really don't get it. Okay guys, so it is obviously nighttime and stuff. Don't know why I have the bookmarks still in here, because I have finished The Kissing Booth 2, Going the Distance. How have I gone this entire vlog and not made a Hercules reference? No, sorry, I need to leave. I'm ashamed of myself. I'm gonna let myself out. Okay? So sorry guys, I'm ashamed of myself too, don't worry. So yes, I apologize. I actually can't believe I haven't made a reference to that. That just proves I need to have a rewatch of Hercules, because that's a joke that I did not make a reference to that. Absolutely no, not a fan of myself for that. Anyways, so like I said, I have finished the book and I honestly prefer this over the first one. This reading for the first time series is not going how I was planning. Or like my, what's the word I'm looking for? Preconception of what I thought this series was going to be, like what these books were going to be. Like, because I actually kind of liked it. All I could say is that these books are just not as cringy as the movies. Like, it is so bizarre to me how they took this, adapted it into a movie, and made it worse and made it more problematic. Like, usually when they adapt something, they take the problematic elements of the book out of it when they're adapting. For example, the first After movie. The first book of After, problematic stuff when it comes to like the whole end of that book. I won't spoil it in case you haven't seen it. And then in the movie, it's toned down and so many of the problematic elements of it are taken out, and it makes the movie not as bad. Like, I still think the movie's bad, but like, it's not as bad as the book. But for this, they did the opposite. Like, the book actually isn't that bad, so they adapted it and were like, you know what? Let's just sprinkle some problematic stuff in here. Like, I don't get why you would take the source material, adapt it, and then make it worse. Like, I actually don't understand. Like, I really can't get my head around it. So basically this book, the way it ended, Noah ended up coming home for Thanksgiving, and Elle obviously and him were broken up. Elle went to the dance with Levi, stuff like that happened, and she was convinced that Noah obviously was seeing this girl Amanda, and he brought Amanda home with him for Thanksgiving. They're like chilling as a thing, so everyone just assumed that Noah was like in a relationship with this new girl Amanda. Everyone assumed it. And then eventually Elle gets annoyed and like upset, and she leaves. She goes to a park and she meets up with Levi because she's like, I just need a friend, I need someone to talk to. And when she's there, she ends up kissing Levi, and Noah comes because he's coming to find her because he knows she's upset. And he sees this happen. He leaves because he's annoyed. And then basically the whole thing with her and Levi, they're basically like, no, we're just friends. Like, a thing between us is just not gonna happen. It's just friendship. And then the girl Amanda comes to Elle and talks to her and is like, I just want to make sure you're okay. Like, you seem really upset and all these different things. It just seemed really awkward between you and Noah. And she basically reveals to Elle that, like, no, me and Noah are not a thing. We're literally just friends. Like, he is my wingman and helps me, like, set me up with guys. Like, we're literally just best friends. I help him with his studies, all these different things. Like, we're literally not a thing. And she's like, he's not my type. All of this different stuff. So Elle's like, oh no. Because obviously she assumed they were together, and that's why she broke up with him. And they basically end up resolving it. They get back together. She graduates high school and everything. Her and Lee both get into Berkeley, and that's something that's different in the movie, because in the movie it kind of has ended where she got into two different schools. Like, one is where the same one that Lee is going to, and then she also gets into, like, I think Harvard or a school near Harvard, and like the movie ends like you don't know which one she's gonna pick. But at the end of this one, it seems very much that she's going to Berkeley with Lee. Like, she got in there and that's all it was said. Like, there was no like cliffhanger like, oh, which one she's gonna pick? Like, it was literally, she's only going there. I feel like that could be an indication as to what she's gonna do in the third one, but who knows? The one thing that did really bother me is the fact, like, why did Noah just not tell her that he wasn't in a relationship with this girl Amanda? Like, they were just friends. I don't see why he couldn't have just said that. Like, he tried to explain it as being like he was really embarrassed because of like stuff that was going on in college, and like he just didn't think Elle would understand, and how he was also failing classes and he needed Amanda to like help him study and all this kind of stuff, and he was just like embarrassed to like admit that he wasn't achieving really well in college. I just don't understand. Like, he knew Elle was upset and was probably gonna break up with him, and he just decided not to tell her that information. Like, why would you let her think you're in a relationship with the other girl? Like, I don't understand his logic there, but whatever, they're back together and they seem pretty happy, so love that for them. You do you. And there was actually a quote in it, and it was actually really cute, and I was like, my heart is actually gonna, like, I actually was like, oh my god, this is so cute. And I was like, I just didn't see this coming when I was reading these books. And also the gay couple that we got, they got together, like, they're boyfriend and boyfriend, and I'm here for it. I stand, like, we love the representation, even though it's very minuscule, like, we barely even see any of it, but still, it was there and I wasn't expecting it. Basically, Elle and Noah, they're having like their conversation, like, she's like, why didn't you just tell me? Like, that she actually wasn't your girlfriend, like, she was just helping you with college, all these different things, like, why didn't you just tell me? And, like, I shouldn't be like, oh, cute. Like, but I can't help it. I can't help it, okay? I'm living my truth. I thought it was cute. So, it says, I'm sorry, I should have told you about college, about Amanda. I know there was nothing going on with you and Levi, but I started convincing myself that there might have been after we broke up, and on Thanksgiving, Noah trailed off when I stepped closer. You're such an idiot, Noah Flynn. He chuckled, and I brought my hand to his face, running my thumb across the tear track on his cheek. But you're my idiot. I didn't kiss him, I waited. Every one of my nerves coiled and ready to spring. You know what? don't know how to feel. I feel like I'm actually having an identity crisis. You know what? I liked it, okay? I liked it. I liked it, and it's okay. Like, none of that stuff that is really cringy about the movie, not in the book. I'm going to end this video here. That is it for my thoughts and opinions on The Kissing Booth 2. And other than that, that's gonna be it for this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I shall see you all next time in my next video. So goodbye, guys.